international condemnation of an online posting which declares that Islamic State fighters have murdered one of two Japanese men who they've been holding captive.
David Cameron has accused the group of murderous barbarity, while the Japanese Prime Minister insists that his country will not give in to extremism. We're joined now by terrorism and security expert Dr. Evan Lawrence. Hi, morning to you.
Morning.
I suppose many people thought this was inevitable. Is that how you saw it, given what's happened over the last few months?
Yeah, I think we were certainly expecting to see something like this again. Unfortunately, it's kind of the nature of how IS has been working, and one of the few things that they can do to kind of hit back at the West when we don't actually have troops and things on the ground there for them to fight with.
Can we talk about how IS is now negotiating, I kind of use that word very loosely, with Jordan, talking about the prisoner release. It basically wants an exchange, doesn't it?
Well, I think there's also some question about whether this is actually an IS video or not as well. And there's been some kind of speculation as to whether this might be a splinter part of the leadership of IS and things. So the negotiations for the release of a prisoner is new for IS, so we're all trying to kind of figure out whether this is actually IS that's negotiating and wanting the release, or whether there's some infighting going on between the group.
Really, so there could be divisions and a change of strategy by some parts of the organisation?
Yeah, that's fairly common with these kind of organizations, that you see, different leaders and things will come up and come through the ranks and want different things than the others, and you see fighting. And this kind of thing happens quite often when you see fighting for control of a leadership.
Regardless of who is in charge or which splinter group is in charge, there is always a danger, isn't there, when countries negotiate with such an unpredictable group, or with any terrorist group? Yeah,
absolutely. It really does put you between a rock and a hard place, because you have, as a government, if you pay the ransom, then that ransom money is most definitely going to fund and sponsor more terrorist acts. And it's also going to create more demand for hostages to have the money paid again. If you don't pay the ransom, then of course the hostage is most likely going to die. So what do you do in that case? And it's a very difficult decision for anyone to make, and especially governments who have multiple hostages.
What do you think it would say, though, if Jordan released this prisoner?
I don't think you'll see that. I would be very surprised, because Jordan tends to kind of respect the wishes of the West.
And this is, just to explain to everyone, this is a would-be suicide bomber,
yes.
A woman who didn't kill herself when she tried to commit an act of terrorism.
Yeah, I think it would be very surprising to see her released. If she were released, I think it sets a very bad precedent for Japan and for Jordan as well, in meeting the demands of hostage takers and things like that, which again just goes back to, it only encourages them to take hostages again and try and have other people released, which I don't think anyone wants at this point.
Okay, Dr. Evan Lawrence, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Time now.